Today, I want to talk about in more depth the Antarctic 2 and the Titanium Antarctic. But before we get started, if you were like me and you were confused, what the hell is the Arctic versus the Antarctic? Basically, the Antarctic is a slightly more like premium version of the Antarctic or of the Arctic shit. The Antarctic is a slightly more expensive and a slightly nicer version of the Arctic. The biggest noticeable difference is that the Arctic has like a middle ridge in the middle, and it weighs I think like around 4.6. Actually, let me double check that right now. Whereas the Antarctic weighs 4.15. The Arctic weighs pulling that up right now. Normally, I would just have the specs in 4.5. So yeah, it's about a 4.54. So it's about a point 4 ounce difference. But mostly it's like the center ridge and jimping, I believe, is the other big difference. So yeah, that's it. I believe the blades are exactly the same, and they're mostly the same otherwise. So if the names are confusing, yeah. As for the difference between the Antarctic 1 and Antarctic 2, I'm not sure, and that hopefully can be found elsewhere. But I want to say while I am not an aluminum hater, I'm actually far from one. The Antarctic is, however, kind of the quintessential slippery aluminum balisong. It's a sandwich balisong sitting at 4.15 ounces. It's not too long, and it's not that. It's like sort of neutralish. I would say very mild handle bias, but neutral minus. It is a nice battle song, and I want to say that I love Glider's design language. It is these very rounded, smooth handles. The crowning is really smooth. The jimping is there. It's got these really simple round barrel spacers. Even the angles in the trainer blade are like kind of nice and rounded. I think it's just very aesthetic, and they have these beautiful bright colors on their battle songs, such as the Arctic and the Antarctic. They also have other battle songs, such as like the OG4 and the Sahara and the Bermuda, which I have a Bermuda. But the flagship products are the Arctic and the Antarctic. The Antarctic is about $165, I want to say. The Arctic is 116, so it's like a roughly $50 difference. Is it worth it? I mean, that's hard to say. On the resale value, none of the the Antarctic, I don't think, has ever dipped really below 100 unless it's beat to shit. Which even I have not even seen anyone beat to shit their Antarctics. The Arctic, I have had a beater proto Arctic, which was on washers, and I don't really like washers. I ended up selling that one, but these are everything otherwise is bushings. The Arctics are and Antarctics are in bushings, and these tolerances are rock solid. Now, again, while this is a nice battle song, it's slippery. Um, it's really slippery. It's got these nice sort of simple face textures, but it with this shiny glossy look, it doesn't really have much for grip. And that's where I want to talk about the Thai Antarctic. Now, at first I said that it was actually a different balance. I was wrong. Um, because it turns out these barrel spacers, I might try and pop this out real quick. And what's really beautiful about these spacers actually is they're really easy to pop in and out. I just did that like that. And in here this is like a revolver of spots. It's really easy. You don't have to put it in. And it comes with a bunch of brass weights. This originally had 6 brass weights total. And that's why when I first unboxed it, I thought that it was I thought it was a little bit more handle bias. No, it was a different configuration of the weights. This is one of the best fucking oopsies. Oh shit, where am I? All right, this is one of the best weight designs I've ever seen in a battle song. I am 100% serious in that. I think this design is brilliant. It is simple. It is easy. While I love machine wise, I love my Seraph. The Seraph is quite a process to take apart. You have to take apart the whole thing basically in order to get the weights in and out. One thing that does help is a glider bit holder to help resecure it. You don't need it. It just helps a little bit to just get it back in. And you have to break down the entire knife each time you want to try a different weight configuration. So for me, while I had essentially, there's the heavy brass weights and the medium brass weights. I also had the light brass weights, and so together that's like 4 configurations, and you have to do a full breakdown. I didn't line up the screw quite properly. Normally it's not this hard. It's not hard. I'm just fucking up. Alright. This has Loctite for some reason, which is silly because you should be willing to take this apart often if you want. While my Antarctic doesn't have the revolver style barrels, it's like it doesn't have that weight system. I do believe maybe mine is a V1. There we go. Got this. Once the screws got slotted in, it was much easier, and I didn't even need to use the bit holder. So the weight system, brilliant. I like mine with no weights. The person who sold this to me had 6 brass weights in each, and you can have up to 8. That is a very, very customizable weight difference. It still felt pretty good with 6 weights in, and definitely had more like of a handle bias and for like rollovers or whatever. But yeah, it's super fast and easy. I would say the only thing that's easier is the Koenig because there are no spacers. You just screw in different weights. But the Koenig, I feel like is actually not as neutral as I thought it was initially because it doesn't fan super evenly with no weights in, and I have like the medium weights in. And again, it is not idiot proof, so you can put the weights in backwards, which is really, really, really bad. So don't do that. So as for weights that are like solid in here, you don't have to worry about them falling out. This is honestly one of my favorite weight systems. Glider also has the labels on the screws. I know I'm not focusing. Focus. Alrighty, whatever. So yeah, that's really nice just for the sake of the hardware. You don't have to like scrounge around on the internet to look for the hardware. It literally says on it, Glider T10 FT 6-32. But here's the thing that I want to talk even more about that. So besides the design language, besides the really nice weight system, what really impresses me the most about the Thai Antarctic is that the Thai Antarctic and the Antarctic virtually look exactly the same. But despite this being a different weight metal, this is aluminum, this is titanium, these two weigh exactly the same. Exactly the same. The only difference, really, on the interior, the exterior looks exactly the same. The only difference here is that these slabs are flat, and these slabs have like some milling, which makes it more even. There's also like a couple of like, there's like a hole here, I guess. Is that different? No, that's the same. So yeah, it's basically just that they milled out more holes for like they just made these slabs more like hollow, whereas these are this thickness the whole way through. These, I know it's hard to see at this angle, they mill in, and that is really impressive because I'm gonna do a video next on the aluminum GN and the Thai GN and how that is not the case for these, and even more so about this one we'll get to later. So if you like the Antarctic and you find it a bit too slippery, the titanium Antarctic is so worth it. It's titanium, so you can do whatever you want. Mine came like this. It was done by the Jurassic Mark. I really like this sort of pattern. I wish it was brighter, but I'm not going to fuck around with the anodization because I think it's really cool. I think the Antarctic is a perfectly serviceable, like, inexpensive-ish Balisong. Its only competition is around, like, the Squid Trainer, but this is a sandwich knife, more neutral. The Squid Trainer is channel, a little bit more handle bias. There's also the BB Barfly stuff, which are also kind of weird. Those are really long and channel, and so there's, like, the Barracuda is like 130-ish. The BB Firefly is like 160 perhaps. So there's a couple things in this price range. I guess also the Swordfish. Whoopsies. The Swordfish is a weirdo though. Not bad, just it's just different. So like there's a couple of things in this price range. So do you need an Antarctic? No, you know, of course no one needs anything really, but I like the titanium Antarctic, and this one, well, I did see someone sell it for 300. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what they retail for because they're not on the website. There is the HD. The HD, I believe, is instead of 6061 aluminum is 7075. So yeah, it's a little confusing between the Arctic, Arctic 2, Arctic HD, Antarctic 2, Antarctic HD, titanium, Antarctic. Yeah. So yeah, 7075 is basically the only difference. But they come in all black, and only all black, which just get the titanium one if you can. If you can find a titanium one on the market, it's about twice the price. Is it twice as nice? I don't know about that. But I got this for a really good price. I got mine on the secondhand market around, I want to say under 200. So if I sell this, I'm paying for most of this back. And I am selling this because why would I flip this when I can flip this? They do flip like slightly different. Like if I do this, the titanium one has like a little bit more momentum, it feels, despite them being the exact same weight. Of course, they're a little bit different. They are different materials. So the titanium one just, I think, has like a little bit more momentum carrying. This is also just not a perfect test. I am right-handed. My left arm used to be stronger than my right arm because I play bass trombone. So take this with a grain of salt. They flip mostly the same. Titanium sounds, in my opinion, better, bouncier. The aluminum one is higher, even if it is a similar bounciness, it's a higher opposed to a funkier one. So yeah, that's my video. Again, I would appreciate if you check out the coffee in my description. I do not have infinite money. I just do a lot of buying and selling and trading, and it would help me cover postage if you checked out my coffee. But besides that, don't forget to comment. Do you have a preference? Do you have any thoughts about do you like the Arctic more than the Antarctic? I only flipped a little bit of the Proto-Arctic. And subscribe because I do daily uploads, and I want to share my love for this hobby and share my thoughts. And these videos are basically just me putting my thoughts in video form to share with everyone instead of just saying the exact same thing over and over and over again. So why not make videos out of it? But anyways, this hobby, I can't do this forever if I don't maybe get a little bit of help. I keep saying I'm going to slow down and then keep making bad decisions. So help me out. Anyways, have a good one and happy flipping.